I was driving home from Charlotte today and found myself in Cheraw, South Carolina, home of an old ghost track, the Cheraw Speedway. There's been a lot of talk about this speedway recently on racersreunion.com, and couldn't pass up an opportunity to come out here and get some video and some photos about this for the folks. So I'm going to be walking around the speedway here, and I'm coming off of turn 2 and going around turn 2 right now. As you can tell a little bit by the video here, there's just a slight banking, maybe 5-7 degrees of banking around the turn here at Cheraw Speedway. Oddly enough, the pavement, what's left of it here, is still intact, a lot of it. I mean, there are trees growing up through it. This pavement has preserved enough of the track surface so that you can tell that there was a racetrack here. And it's pretty cool just to see this. I'm looking down the backstretch right now, looking into turn 3. Now, as I'm walking down through here now, I'm about halfway down the backstretch. Let me do an easy turn here to give you an idea of what it looks looking back into turn 2. Hard to tell, huh? And as you can see, the track is surrounded by some dense woods. And over on the front stretch side of the track, just on the other side of the road that you use to access the track, Janet Circle, is the Cheraw Municipal Airport. And that's an active airport, and there are planes taxiing there now that you might be able to hear from the video. So I'm walking almost to the entrance now of turn 3. And again, I hope you can see just a tiny bit of banking in this racetrack. And really short, tight. Someone told me they thought this was a 3/8 mile track. I'm going to tell you, this is probably the shortest 3/8 mile track I've seen. If it is, I'd say it might measure a 1/4 mile around the outside. I'd like to measure it just to see exactly what it is. Now, I'm in the center of turn 3 and turn 4 here, or just inside turn 3. You're looking in the center of turn 3 and turn 4, and looking at turn 4 as a race car would be coming into here, and probably somewhere from up here at the top of the racetrack, they might start to turn down into the inside of the track to exit turn 4 down the front stretch. Now, there's some interesting things over here on the front stretch. As I was walking around with my camera earlier taking some still shots, there are remnants of the old catch fence and some of the railing and cabling and stuff still left here from Cheraw Speedway. And from the looks of things, you know, the fact that this speedway was paved when it was paved, and that they had a catch fence and those things on the racetrack, shows signs that in its day this track was pretty advanced as far as racetracks of that day go. So here's a look as we look right down the front stretch now. Yeah, so if you can imagine a car coming off of turn 4 there and hitting this front stretch, it's kind of hard to tell with the trees growing up here just what it would have looked like to a race driver driving this thing as I walk my way around some of the overhanging branches and things. But this is the front stretch, front straightaway down there. Now I want to take you over to my right to where the grandstands would have been and show you some evidence of some old school catch fence and railing here. I want to show you the cable on this post You can see the large nails in there from where other cables have been. There's still a cable attached at the top. It goes down to some of the other posts that are pretty bad shape, falling down. And as you look down on the ground, there was a very large, I imagine that's probably an inch and a quarter cable that ran along this thing. And here's another post, and obviously you can see more remnants of how it was attached. And right behind that, up on this ledge, and I guess this dirt bank here served as the wall for Cheraw Speedway, as was the case in many racetracks back in the day. But just look at this heavy iron mat catch fence that evidently was the protection for the grandstands. I'm assuming that that's the case, as I was, never here during the time this race ran. And if any of you folks are watching this video and you find my information to be wrong, let me know. But this looks like this was probably the front stretch, the side next to the airport. It's the only place I can find any evidence of catch fencing and that kind of stuff. And also an old light pole with one of the old lights. I don't know if you can see that. Let me see if I can zoom and get you a shot of that light fixture that's on the old pole there. I think there's one here. There might be one more. I'm not sure, of these light poles still standing that I could find. I'll look for others as I walk around here. But pretty interesting look. You've got to really use your imagination to think about what this might have looked like back in the day. And now across from what I'm going to call the front stretch here, that's the infield. I can only imagine that pit road must have gone in. Perhaps right here there's an opening here that looks like that might have been, could have very well been the pit road entrance into the infield, assuming there was one. Would like to see some photographs, preferably topical photographs of the racetrack back in the day, just to get an idea of what this actually looked like, to compare to what it looks like now as we look down the front stretch into turn 2. I want to walk over here and take another look at some of the cabling and railing, again, that's still standing here at Cheraw Speedway. Some of the old guardrail still there. You can see the nails that it was put on with and the hole that's rotted out. The post with the same type of cable. And I want you to pay close attention to how that cable is attached. Looks like that might have been maybe a 20-penny nail or something. But and then right behind that there's some page wire fencing. Again, assuming that that's where the grandstands were. And walking down the front stretches, you hear the acorns popping under my feet. The oak trees hanging over the racetrack here, dropping their mass down on the racetrack. And look, here's some more guardrail, better evidence maybe of the guardrail. Here's where that large cable begins on this end. You can see the loop around this post there. The small cable's gone at this point, but look at some of those wooden guardrail. Looks like maybe 2x12s nailed onto the post. I'm going to look back down the front stretch and give you an idea of the length of the straightaway here. And now we're looking into the infield again. And I'm walking into turn 2. Now around the outside of the track, other than on the front straightaway, I can't find any signs of railing. I'm imagining that most likely at that time there was no railing around the speedway in this area. If so, none of it is left. I'm up on the banking between turn 1 and turn 2. And I'm looking now off turn 2. As you see my truck sitting there right at the exit of turn 2. toward